of the NATO commander, right? But he has also a direct link with his capital. And you need, every contingent commander has to report first, probably, to his own capital before reporting to NATO HQ. And also, every contingent commander has in his back pocket secret instruction from his government. What is the translation, the concrete translation on the ground? When you call, for instance, for a medevac at night, the answer is no, we cannot. Caveat, my government forbid me to use helicopter at night, too dangerous. When you are in Kosovo, for instance, and your neighbor has troubles because there are some disturbances, so he asks for you, or for your help. Maybe some battalion commander said, no, I cannot, because I am responsible of a certain area, my battalion area, my area of operation, but I have no right to go outside. When Germany deployed 6 aircraft, Tornado reconnaissance aircraft, there is a plan to use this reconnaissance aircraft. Do you think that in operation the plan is always adapted to the reality? No, of course, no. So you need to be on call. Forbidden. The Bundestag has to know and to give the green light, etc., etc., etc. Caveats. And then African Union in Darfur saying, African Union, we will take care of our own problems. Yes, but what are the capacities and how the troops are prepared and how the troops are paid, even within UN. When the UN subsidies paid by the UNHQ here in New York are given in the pocket of the local government, but not in the pocket of the soldier in the field. The motivation of these soldiers is great, as you may imagine. Efficiency. I am clear? Examples. UN Profor mandate. 5 resolutions between February and October. What does that mean? Only that. That means that the first resolution was wrong or was not sufficient. Chapter peacekeeping, Kosovo. Peacekeeping, when they were shooting at each other. Chapter 6, self-defense. How can you reestablish, impose peace between warring factions when you have only the right for self-defense? But because it was not in the mandate, it was not in the mandate to impose peace. The mandate was an interim arrangement for diplomats, permitting them to create to continue the negotiation, to create the condition for an overall settlement of the Yugoslav crisis. What does that mean? The diplomats were unwilling to give to the local military commander the possibility to solve the conflict or to stop the fighting. So when the journalists are writing, the UN is totally inefficient, it's absolutely incredible, change the UN because it's absolutely hollow. The problem is not there. The problem is there. That is to say, the UN Security Council, who voted the resolution, is not the military. It's the 15 diplomats here in the UN Security Council. But why this resolution was so weak? Because the problem is simple. It's no resolution or a very low-level resolution. And we are back to the initial problem. That do we do something or do we do nothing? It's philosophical. If we do nothing, that the war between the warring faction in Yugoslavia will continue endlessly until the exhaustion and thousands, tens of thousands of people dead and killed and destroyed, etc. At least deploying UN Profor has saved a certain number of lives locally, despite our losses. And at least that has been a kind of break, slowing down a certain number of operations. But we have not been able to prevent Srebrenica. See, we have been able to prevent Srebrenica one time. It was General Morillon. Alone. Let me just make a parenthesis with these examples. It was Christmas '93. Srebrenica was already surrounded by the Serbs. Morillon was commanding general in Sarajevo. He left Sarajevo secretly with 5 people. 1 ADC, 3 radio operators, and 1 staff officer. The 3 radio operators had in their bags a satellite phone, not given by the UN because it was forbidden, but given on a personal basis by the US commander in Naples, Admiral Borda, who is dead now. They infiltrated at night through the minefield down to Sarajevo, and when he arrived at Sarajevo, he used the only weapon at his disposal. It was his satellite phone, telling to the media all over the world, I am here. I am in Srebrenica, so if the Serbs are going to attack, I will be there in order to testify what happens. When Paris discovered that, Morillon was on the verge to be sacked. Sacked, because he disobeyed. But due to the tonality of the event and the reaction of the populations and our public opinion in the world, and Morillon was promoted. South Lebanon, another examples. Look at this resolution of '78. None of these major points have been established. None. None. Confirm the withdrawal. No. Restore international peace. I love. Assist the government. Nothing. But at least that diffuse the tension a little bit and that protect the population. Have a look to what the international community there has accepted. The mission was to control this blue area between the Litani River and the so-called international border of a ceasefire line, because there is no peace treaty between Lebanon and Israel. When we deployed, impossible to deploy all over, because the Israelis have decided to control this area. And so the UN forces were cut into 2 parts. And in order to liaise between that part and this one, it was necessary to ask for permission to the Israelis. On the other side, and the HQ was totally inserted inside the Israeli security belt. So we were in jail in Nakura, and the commanding general also. We were asking for permission. That was not preventing the Israeli every day to liaise between Rosh Hanikra until here, where they had position overlooking the Tir pocket, this one, the Tir pocket, where the PLO had strongholds. Because also the Palestinian Liberation Organization, the PLO, refused the UN to go into their, and the international community, we, you, me, we have accepted that during years and years. So don't accuse the UN forces. Accuse the diplomat and the politician who have accepted that. But don't accuse of the UN forces not being able to conduct a mandate which is inapplicable.